Hey, what's up? So, I'm gonna talk about a concept that I find is always there to trigger my creativity when, I feel uninspired. So, this concept is called cluster chords, and we are going to combine it with various modes, all right, various modal chords. All right, so this is quite advanced stuff. So if you don't know your modes and stuff, your voicings all over the fretboard, you might struggle watching this. So let's take an exotic mode, for example, C Lydian. All right. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that at some point in our voicing, there's going to be a clash between two notes. By a clash, I mean that they're going to be a semitone or a tone apart from each other. For example, if I played this voicing for C Lydian, you see that my E note here and my F sharp, they are kind of like fighting each other. That's a major second interval between my third and my sharp 11. Now, if we were to like really discover the cluster chords and the possibilities they give us, we would have to do a really nice exercise that I came up with last year. So we want to play the C Lydian scale, and we want to make each of the notes of the C Lydian scale work as the highest note of the chord. So all the other notes are going to be below the note of the scale that we will play the chord over. Let me demonstrate. Let's start from our major 7, our B note. We can do this nice voicing. Let's now go to our root note. Nice cluster between F sharp and G. If you were to hear this on its own, it's really weird sounding, It's kind of non-functional, but within the chord, it's perfect. Now we will keep this voicing and just add the 9th instead of the root. So we gotta and then we go into the major 3rd, our E note. So I'm just playing the scale, but below each of the notes I am playing a cluster chord. And I'm trying to see where I can put the distinctive tone of the C Lydian. The sharp 11 is always the distinctive tone of the Lydian, so that would be the F sharp. I'm trying to see where I can put it. For example, here, I preferred not to put it because I like this voicing. That's just C, B, D, E. All right, now for the F sharp, the distinctive tone, you can do that or that, but I played this voicing so many times that I just want to stop playing it whenever my fingers go to this. I'm like, no, you've played this 1 million times, Konstantin, just try something else. All right, that's a good hint, by the way, to stop playing the voicings that you play always. Like, I don't mean stop playing them literally, but try to explore other voicings as well. And that's why this exercise is also really, really useful. So where were we? We were at the F sharp, and we're gonna go for the G note. Beautiful cluster. Now again, if you were to hear this on its own, no, but within the chord, beautiful. All right, now we were at G. Let's go for A, the 13th, the major 13th. Or if you want to, introduce the distinctive tone of Lydian, but I prefer that one. So the major 7 and the root. If you can stretch like that, you can even play the 9th here, the major 9th. If it's painful, don't try this at home. I've done a lot of warm-ups and stretching exercises in my life, so it is doable for me. This guitar also really helps. I love this guitar. So, recap. Make sure to accent the top note. C. And that's a bit hard. I mean, it's not really a voicing that you would play when if you were to change between chords. No, it's just a voicing that needs some time. All right. It could be easier if you were in another key, for example, if you were in G. Yeah, that would be so much easier if you were higher up in the neck, of course. Now, the way to practice this is the following. Make sure that you have your bass on the A string, so your root note on the A string, and also find all the voicings that we did of the harmonized scale, and also from the A string. So if I were to do the same thing from the A string, I would start from this F sharp, the sharp 11, and go up to G. All right, so we can play like 8 different voicings here as well. Now I want you to check this out. This is like absolute beauty. This is what I call a double cluster, because you got a cluster between the F sharp and the G, and between the G and the A, and with the root. By the way, quick outside thing, you can make this work on various modal contexts. So, for example, until the bassist plays the note, you don't know what chord we're in, like Sting said. And yeah, double cluster, beautiful voicing, quite hard to play. By the way, this on the piano is like the next key. Like you just play C, D, E. It's like that. No pain at all. But on the guitar, you gotta yeah, the hard life of the guitar player. So, where were we? We did the F sharp, we did the G, we did the A. Now let's go for the B. I want to do the double cluster again. So C, G, A, B. Beautiful. Then we'll go for the root, and we want to do we'll do that one. We love that one. So that's again double cluster. So that's always C on the bass. And we got A, B, C. A, B, C. It's, you know, on the piano it's A, B, C, the next two keys. All right, let's stick to C, sorry for that. Yeah, and then we're gonna go for D, and we'll do again B, C, D, double cluster. I don't know if that's a term, I call them like that. So, all right, B, D, E. So 7, 9, third. It's like this one that we played here, but an octave higher. And then, or for the F sharp, and for the G, let's try this one. All right, so quick recap. F sharp, G, A. They sound kind of weird, the double clusters, when you play them all together. So when you do, but when they are like arpeggiated, they really work. So B, C, D, E, F sharp, and finally G. Quick but important thing that I forgot to say when I filmed this video. You know, I did this in one go, so this just slipped my mind, but it's really important for me to not say. You don't have to learn all the voicings I'm playing with the exact same way I'm playing them, all right? Actually, the whole point of this video is to demonstrate the topic, and then you take the guidelines, which is to harmonize the scale and the cluster chord, and you find your own ways of doing that. That's the whole magic of it, actually. Now, having said that, it would be, you know, kind of helpful to know where to start from and perhaps copy a few voicings that I played, of course. And that's why I have created a nice PDF with notation and tab, and I have uploaded it on my Patreon page, which is, you know, it's covering the C Lydian scale like I played it, but it's also showing you more options than the ones I played. So for the major seventh on top, for example, there are like 2 or 3 options. For the major third, there are like 4 or 5 options. So I'm giving like for each chord tone on as a top note, a few different options, which is, you know, a way for you to perhaps start and explore the topic and get familiar with it. And then for, you know, the Ionian mode, the Dorian, the Mixolydian, you know, all the modes, you do your own voicing. So you use my Lydian PDF that I have uploaded on my Patreon as a kind of, you know, guide, all right? And then you do it your own. Because, you know, the whole thing really is about becoming able to find voicings, to access different voicings easily and be creative with it. The more you discover on your own, the more you eventually get to learn and the more inspired you become. If you just copy other people's voicings, this will, you know, take away the whole joy of exploration. Okay? We learn voicings from other people, from records mainly, in order to get us going. That's not the end of the day, you know? Learning some other people's voicings is not your end cause. It's just your initial step to get you going into the magical thing, which is exploring and finding, discovering your own voicings. All right, let's get back to it. Now, make sure you can also go backwards, you know, do the descending motion. Really nice textures. Wow. I never thought like these kind of sounds were even possible on the guitar. And G and F sharp. And backwards from the E string. Right, so this is just Lydian. If you were to learn all the modes, you get into, like, in my opinion, real innovative territories. Because when you mix them up and create chord progressions with this concept, now we're gonna talk about this soon, I promise. If I were to talk about this in this video, you know, this would take, I don't know, an hour. So I will actually split the chord progressions part into quite a few videos, because there's so many things you can do, like diatonic, modal interchange, you know, jazz harmony. You can, you know, do all sorts of things with clusters. And to be honest, it's a very advanced and, you know, mind-blowing concept. You know, it's something that personally I practice a lot and I like to practice it because, as I said in the beginning of this video, it triggers the creativity within me. Like, every time I play those chords, I find myself, you know, getting lost in, like, creating ideas, and which eventually turn into songs. For example, a little idea I wrote recently. And there is a development of that, of course, but, you know, let's leave that for another time as well. So I hope you found this video useful. It's something that has really, really helped me a lot. I mean, the tune that I just played came through practicing cluster chords, you know? Last tip, and I'm gonna close it for today. try to have like 3 different mindsets when you practice. At least, you might do this in your own way. You don't have to do it exactly as I describe it, but I find that these 3 different mindsets kind of thing really helps me, and it has helped a lot of my students as well. So mindset number 1, be like really disciplined, do a really specific exercise. Okay. Mindset number 3, let's skip number 2, is like being lost in the space-time continuum of playing, not thinking, and just going with the flow. And mindset number 2 is the in-between kind of thing. So you're improvising, but you're trying to apply a concept in your improvisation. Or you're writing ideas, you're experimenting with ideas, but you're experimenting within a concept. And of course, it's not just 3 different mindsets. There's like, all the in-between colors of the spectrum, okay? So try to be aware that, you need to have a balance in your practice time. So if you're like all day jamming over backing tracks or whatever, that's not the way to go. If you're doing exercises all day, that's not the way to go either. So try to have all of those 3. All right, so I hope you found today's lesson useful. And, feel free to hit me up with suggestions on anything you would like me to cover. Bye for now.